Quicksters. Welcome to Quick Take. I'm your host, Susie, along with James. How are you, James?
I am fantastic. I have a pumpkin seed muffin here in front of me, and it is delicious. I know you love pumpkin seeds.
I do love pumpkin seeds. They're my favorite.
I know.
So moving on
Yes.
from that, a serious one. I work with a CEO that when he is under stress, and a lot of that comes from like the board meeting. Let's get as an example. When he has to present in front of the board, he becomes so focused on that meeting that he gets nothing else done. And so his people complain about that because he's not very productive.
Sure.
And then they're always like, oh, here comes the board meeting again. We're going to lose him for like a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common. And I think, many people assume that executives are, very seasoned and experienced in a lot of things, and therefore don't feel these emotions. And I talk to people all the time about whether it's a big presentation or a board meeting or, a particularly important conversation. And oftentimes they say to me, well, I know you don't get nervous, but I do. Or I'm sure you're comfortable with this, but I'm not. And the truth is that, leaders across the spectrum struggle with anxiety and nervousness. And I think that there's some good lessons to be learned from what those people have come to understand.
I think that's so true. And I think we understand this imposter syndrome or this thing that we're quite not enough. But for some reason, we believe that other people don't suffer from the same thing. So we don't think they need support, or we don't think they have anxiety or any of those things about something that's upcoming for them. And so this is a good topic.
It's a great topic
to talk about.
I just feel like, look, everybody has tools that they use to get through. And I think that these are tools that I know that leaders that I've either read about or met or worked with have come to use. And whether you're a regional director of sales in Colorado, or you're the CEO of a Fortune 100 company, these tools can apply to everyone. And I think that they're good, tried and true ways that you can address the anxiety that comes with comes with the roles.
Yeah, I think it's really good. All right, tell me the first one. What's your first tip?
Well, one of the things that I find so fascinating is anxiety in and of itself as a word. Has a lot of connotation. And I think, I know Sheryl Sandberg talked about it in her book, that she reframes anxiety as excitement. And if you think about that very simple thing, they are physically the same thing. You get these butterflies in your stomach, you do feel stress, but boy, changing it from anxiety to excitement, you get excited to go on a roller coaster. Nobody says, well, very few people have anxiety to get on a roller coaster. I know you do. But that changing it to excitement is a very different mindset. And I think that if you can reframe that and channel that nervous energy into something else other than anxiety, you can be a lot more powerful.
Yeah, I think there's something, it reminds me of the abundance mindset versus the finite mindset, and being able to just understand that, look at it in a positive light. There is research that shows when you do that, you'll be more successful because you have more confidence.
Well, and I think if you think about those jitters as an indicator of passion, I often say to people, you're nervous because it matters. Right.
That's
and
good.
if you were not, did not have jitters, you did not have that excitement about this particular thing, then it doesn't matter to you or to me. So maybe you're not the right person for this. So I think taking a look at that anxiety, repositioning it as a power, and realizing it's important for you to be successful really changes the way that you look at it.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one is, you're nervous because it matters. That was a good one. I love that. All right. What's the second one?
The second one is, okay, so you are nervous, not anxious, or whatever word we put to it. There's still physical elements of it that make it challenging. And I think, embracing some of the holistic mindfulness and peacefulness and meditation ideas are really helpful. I think that there are tons of books that talk about this. Mark Benioff, who's the CEO at Salesforce, has said many times that he credits meditation to his ability to get through the day. Oprah has talked about it at length, that she uses transcendental meditation to get through. And I
Yeah.
think that that willingness to take a moment and take the time and center yourself goes a million miles.
I think so too. You know, I talk a lot about self-awareness and zooming out, and
Mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
so amazing to me in big groups of executives. There's always a few people that swear by meditation and talk
Yeah.
about that. And I think it's such a great way to understand. But you have to understand you're triggered. You have to be able to
Mm-hmm.
have that ability to understand it so that you can take the time to do that.
Yeah, I think that I practice yoga. I know you and I have talked about that at length, and I think that really the core value of those types of practices are giving you the ability to be outside yourself and see your emotions
Yeah.
and see your behaviors for what they are. And that meditation during the times of stress and anxiety, taking a step back and looking at them objectively, will go a long way for you to
Mhm.
understanding what's happening. Again, if you're nervous, it matters. That's fine. But then being able to step back and address it and function effectively is equally as important.
Yeah. I wanted to add something to it, but I'm worried that it's going to step on your third one. So tell me what your third one is.
Well, the third one is really just building a support mechanism and tools that allow you to be better. I think that
Mhm.
surrounding yourself with people that understand the challenges of speaking at a board meeting or being
Mhm.
part of public speaking groups, those type of support systems give you the license to be nervous and allows you to not be alone in that anxiety.
Yeah.
How was
Those
that?
are
I step on. Was that
No,
your
I
was that
actually
your
have a bonus.
a
I actually have
bonus?
a
All
bonus.
right.
But I will say that's so good too because those people are not living your reality.
Hmm.
And so it gives you a different perspective as well if you can find a group that isn't a
Right.
part of your ecosystem. But what I was going to add to the bonus that I was going to add is if you take that time, that meditation, or being able to step out of
Hmm.
the situation and look back, ask your team, you know, what happens when I go into the board meeting? How can we make this more productive?
Sure.
Because you might not always know, and they might be afraid to say to you, like that CEO that I said, his team gets really frustrated at him because he is not there for them in other ways. And so giving
Right.
them the ability to step in, they might be able to help you during that time, but you
I
need
think
to
that's
ask.
a perfect example of the third item, which is building a support organization around it.
Okay,
Imagine
fair.
a situation in which I have a quarterly presentation that I have to give to the board, and that my team, my organization, suffers because I am completely fixated on that situation. I use meditation to try to allow myself, or I take that first one. I try to look at that energy as important. I use meditation to allow me to be more focused. And then I allow my team to support me through that. And we talk through it and allows me to voice those
Yeah.
concerns and they give me feedback. That right there, all three of those things will make that entire situation so much better. And as a leader, infinitely more effective.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good. All right. So what are the three?
Yeah, I think the first one is really just trying to reposition your point of view on stress and anxiety. Look at it as passion and excitement rather than the negative connotation that so often goes with anxiety. Second item, take advantage of meditation, breathing, whatever types of mindfulness that you can find at your veil to allow you to take a breath and look at the situation more effectively. And then third, surround yourself with a support group to ensure that you have people who will give you some perspective and really create some opportunities for you to get feedback and ways to learn from the situation.
I think this is such a good episode for people to think back. What are my high stakes situations? What
Mm-hmm.
are the things that cause me anxiety and that
Yeah.
make me nervous? And what do I need to be more mindful of when I face them again? And they could even schedule some things to think about to remind them
Oh
of
yeah.
some of these
I,
tips.
I love the idea that you just offered up there, which is, board meetings are obvious, but, it may be as simple as going to the dentist. And we all have
Yeah.
these different flavors, and to disregard them, or I don't think is healthy. Looking at all of these things and this is a practice for how you can get through stress in your life, I think can apply to any number of situations.
Oh, it's so good. And I have to just say one more thing too, is high stakes situations is different for all of us.
Absolutely.
The,
Absolutely.
the example of giving blood, you do it very often. I hate it. I can't, it makes me really nervous. And so just that,
Yes.
the way we approach different situations could be the exact same situation, high stakes for me, not high stakes for you. So
Right. Right.
understanding that and putting words to it can be very empowering.
You are powerful. Super powerful.
Thanks. This was a good one.
Good topic.